The Nevada County Cannabis Alliance, founded in 2016, is a trade association whose mission is to educate and advocate for just and equitable local policies and state legislation. They also collaborate with local cannabis farmers, manufacturers, and supply chain operators to promote economic growth. The Cannabis Alliance website contains online webinars designed to educate small cannabis farm operators in the development of sustainable businesses capable of meeting the challenging market and regulatory environment of the California cannabis industry. Recently, the Alliance has been advocating to stop AB 564, a state bill that would raise the tax on cannabis from 15 to 19%. The bill is currently in the State Assembly, pending amendments from the State Senate. For more about the Nevada County Cannabis Alliance or how you might sponsor or become a member, please visit their website link provided in today's show notes. Diana Gamzon is the executive director and co-founder of the Nevada County Cannabis Alliance. She has spent the last 10 years advocating for and collaborating with the local cannabis farmers of Nevada County. Welcome, Diana. Good to see you. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
So, what's new in the? We just spoke to Sheriff Moon about this annual operation to identify illegal grows in the county. How does this impact the legal farmers here in the county?
Well, as an organization, we have always been very supportive of the sheriff's efforts to combat illegal grows, especially the egregious illegal grows, and recognizing the harm, especially the environmental degradation that can happen to our environment when these are not properly enforced against, especially the egregious grows. So
what do you consider, may I interrupt?
Absolutely.
What do you consider an egregious grow?
One that is causing environmental harm, so it might be very steep slopes, illegal grading, stealing water from the waterways, toxic chemicals that are banned in the United States. I know that there's been some grow this summer where that was found. These are harmful to our community.
Yes.
And so we especially appreciate when there's a priority towards especially the egregious grows that are happening in our community.
So as far as the Alliance always educating and never, supporting the sheriff's operation for sure. As far as the surveillance and such goes, they're surveilling legal as well as illegal grows just to identify the difference. Correct. I'm assuming. So the legal farmers know that this is happening and they kind of accept it, or accept it as just part of doing business. I
Exactly.
assume.
Yeah, it's we know that there's helicopters flying and we know that what they're doing, and we're really proud of the farmers. There's about 180-ish local licenses, local permits that have been issued. That's 180 new tax-paying businesses in the past 5 years, so we're really proud of that. They've done a tremendous amount of work to get to that place of having a local permit and a state license. So I think having some helicopters flying is not a big deal at all
in the scheme of things. And
exactly.
I know that the process and the requirements to become a legal farm are pretty steep. It's pretty onerous.
They are incredibly steep. It has been a barrier to entry for many of our small farmers. Here in Nevada County, we don't have large grows. And when I say large grows, I'm comparing it to the Central Valley, where one farm may be a 30-acre farm. In all of Nevada County, we have 30 acres combined of our total licensed cannabis. Up until recently, the majority of our farmers had about 10,000 square feet of canopy for each local licensed farm, and that was, that's
nothing.
Quarter of it. It's so minuscule. So we really are working to educate the small farmers on how to get a local license, how to transition and get their state licenses and local permits. And it is an incredibly onerous process. Many people don't realize that every single cannabis farm must meet site-specific CEQA. So CEQA
is the environmental oversight.
Exactly.
State oversight.
Exactly. Yeah. And so there's about 20 different criteria, air quality, all sorts of criteria, dust, that have to be met to be able to get your permit. And it's as if you're building it's the same standards that if you're putting a Walmart or a Dollar General or any kind of commercial operation has to meet. So it's very onerous requirements. There's about 7 different regulatory agencies that you all need approvals from just to get your local permit and state license. So it is a very long process and expensive process.
How expensive typically?
It's all site specific. It depends, but it could be upwards of maybe $20,000 in permits, upwards of $100,000 when you have to meet all of the different requirements.
Yes.
So it's a very costly process.
But the profits from, I know that the cost of cannabis has gone down, and so of course this impacts what the farmers can expect to make as a profit.
Right.
Or the distribution. So what is the typical price? How much has it gone down?
The price of cannabis has gone down from about 6 or 7 years ago by about 70 or 80%.
Wow.
It is so significant.
Yeah.
We typically say, this is farming. What we are doing is farming. We're putting seeds in the ground.
Right.
It is a commodity. We are farming, and farming has a lot of fluctuations. And so we are no different than our veggie farmers or grape farmers, ranchers going through a lot of market instability and fluctuation. And so how we are working with our community in the licensed cannabis industry is to be resilient in these times and be able to adapt and be able to diversify what they're growing on their farm, be able to create more streamlined procedures, and again, continue to grow the highest quality. That's what we always want from our small farmers here in Nevada County. We want to be known for high quality.
Right.
We will never be known for mass commodity cannabis. We don't want to be known for that. That's other regions have that covered. We are high quality craft cannabis farmers here.
So that's the differentiator.
Exactly.
Among other areas that have cannabis farms.
Exactly. And going back to the price, well, the price has gone down 70 to 80%. I mean, it's absolutely shocking how much it's gone down, but it's still farming, and it's still being able to work on your land and put your hands in the soil and be out there farming with your animals, your dogs, your barn animals, whatever it may be.
Yes.
And it's the love of farming, just as a crop farmer loves to farm. And so that's what we find from a lot of our farmers. The profits are not what they used to be 10 years ago, 20 years ago, even 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
But if you're doing what you love, it's a good day. It's a good business.
Is it easy to explain why the price has dropped so significantly?
Yeah. Well, we can think. Well, there's a lot of different reasons, but let's see. I can take this in several different directions, but we'll just go. It's oversupply. It really is oversupply. There are farms in the Central Valley. One farm may have 200 acres.
Yes.
There are farms that are producing the amount that our entire county produces in a year. One farm is producing that in a month.
Right.
I mean, it's just really wild. And I'll spare you my political rants on how this all came to be, but we're rolling with it.
Okay.
You know?
And I'm curious, when cannabis is distributed in whatever form it ends up being, in provisions, a distribution store the new one down the street. Does it say, like wine would say, what region it's from? Does it say Nevada County? Because wouldn't that be a cool?
Oh, yay! Yeah, this is the exciting opportunities that we have. So yes, we have several brands, and I love to brag about our local cannabis brands here. They have won awards. Our farmers have been featured in Vanity Fair, Forbes. Our farmers have won first and second place at the Emerald Cup, which is
that's the biggie.
That's the Oscars for cannabis.
Yes.
The California State Fair, our farmers have taken first place at the California State Fair. So we have incredible farmers, and those that are branding are always highlighting on their branding Nevada County. Now, the exciting thing and why I lit up is that we have been working with the California Department of Food and Ag for, this has been going on now probably like 6 or 7 years now, on the creation of regulations for appellations of origin specifically for cannabis.
Okay.
There's been some exceptionally talented experts within the wine industry who have played a part in developing the regulations alongside the cannabis industry.
see.
So they are truly mirroring the wine industry's appellations. And so we are in the final stages of these regulations being approved, but within the next year, these regulations will be approved, and then we can truly stamp our appellations here in Nevada County. And what that will allow us to do is it will allow us to have a set standard for specifically why cannabis in Nevada County is unique. And the very cool thing about it, it is all terroir based.
Okay, just like wine.
Exactly. So we can
Got it.
talk about our growing procedures and processes and have it actually has to be scientifically proven back to the terroir. So very exciting times ahead as we think about ag tourism and how to uplift our craft cannabis farmers here.
So do you envision sort of a tour, a cannabis farm tour for people to sample various farms' products?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We are so proud of the quality of cannabis that is grown here and the farmers that stand behind their product,
Yes.
their flower, their cannabis. So we are, when the policy is all said and done and we actually have these tools to use, we are so proud to be able to bring these to consumers, because on the other side of all this, we have very advanced cannabis consumers throughout the world who are looking to come to the state of California, to come to these legacy cannabis producing regions to see where, there's strains that show up in Amsterdam that have come from the Ridge here in Nevada County.
That's interesting.
And so there is a whole consumer cannabis connoisseur that's just like a wine connoisseur who really knows the taste, the smell of cannabis. And so that's really the perception that we are trying to advance here in the county, is that cannabis is not what one may think of it in terms of a perception that people may have. It is so much larger, the consumer base of cannabis, the age, the expertise, and so very excited.
One of the newspapers I've worked for in my career, when the ordinance was passed, started a cannabis beat, if you would, and we hired a reviewer to review various strains, just like a reviewer would review wines.
Yes.
So it was really interesting and very popular at the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, wow, this is really interesting. We'd love to follow this Nevada County here, made here idea when the laws get passed, and you can demonstrate what it means.
Absolutely.
For our people.
One of our members that we're really excited to talk about is Den Cobb, which is on the down the 20 on the Smartsville border, in Smartsville. And what they have is this is due to policy that we got passed 2 years ago. It allows for on-farm retail, and it's very onerous. Again, of course, all cannabis policy is, or regulations are, to receive this type of permit, you have to have a conditional use permit. But people can actually come to their farm, see the cannabis being grown in the fields around this big, beautiful red barn. They can actually purchase local cannabis on
I've
site.
read about this somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know which
Yeah,
organization.
and it's actually also an animal sanctuary. So there's big horned sheep and pigs and donkeys and all sorts of animals around, and it's so beautiful. Sometimes people go and they take their lunch and just sit and chat. Exactly, and they talk to the farmer. And so
that's a good model, is what I'm getting from you.
It's a great model.
Okay.
Nevada County is also home to the CDFA certifies cannabis farmers for organic standards. It's called OCAL. Nevada County has the highest percentage out of any county in the entire state of OCAL certified organic cannabis farmers in the entire state. And so we're so proud of that.
Wow. Well, you are a wealth of information, I have to tell you, and excitement. So that's wonderful. We'll have you back.
Great.
Thank you so much for your time, Diana.
Thank you.
Good to see you.